Hey, Orchinistas, orchid lovers, orchid enthusiasts all over the world, just like I am. Welcome to the channel, Forever Orchids. My name is Tracy, and today I want to show you how to repot this Cattleya orchid here. We've got some bifoliate leaves here, we've got some unifoliate leaves here, and I've been treating this as if it was a bifoliate here. I've been waiting until we got new roots growing in the pot here, and I also now currently have a new growth coming up right here. And this is one of the rescued orchids. Now, if you haven't seen those videos, I'll put a link at the end of this video and in the description for these rescue orchids that I got, let's see here, probably 9 months ago, if I had to guess. And this particular orchid here was planted in a clear plastic pot in total sphagnum moss. That's it. And today I'm going to repot it in this plastic pot. It's a little bit shorter, but it is a little bit larger in diameter here. And I think it'll do just fine. And I'm going to plant it right back in sphagnum moss. This plant here seemed to be very happy in sphagnum moss. The pseudobulbs have remained nice and plump. And let me tell you what this is. This is a, yeah, okay. A Ringcathlean. I totally butchered that. So let me put up on the screen what this is, and I'll also show you a picture of it in bloom. Now, my division here has not bloomed. The place that I rescued this from has another plant that did bloom, and I'll show you a picture of right here of what that one looked like. So let's get into it here. Let's see here. Now, I've already put across the screen the name of the plant here. Let me tell you the cross. The cross is SLC Orglades Early Harvest crossed with BLC Bouton d'Or. And it's highly possible SLC Orglades Early Harvest is now just simply Cattleya. I'll have to look all of that up. I'm just reading what the tag says. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, is put some clay shard down in the bottom of the pot. It just kind of helps weight down your plastic pot. Now, wait a minute. I hear you. You're going, Tracy, wait a minute. You tell me you always plant your cattleyas in clay pots. Yes, I do. I'm doing this as an experiment. Because this has been in pure sphagnum moss in a clear pot, I'm just going to put it right back in the same so we can keep an eye on those roots and how well the plant is doing. Now, on the bottom, to weight the plastic pot down, I could put some lava rock if I wanted to. I've got some clay shards here that I'm going to put over the holes here in the bottom. Now, they're not totally over the holes because the clay shard here is curved. So you're still going to get that airflow and you're still going to get water flowing through the pot. We're just going to kind of weight the pot down and keep some of the sphagnum moss from going through the bottom. I've already got my sphagnum moss here and I have it soaking in sea kelp extract. So we're going to use that in just a minute, but let's get this plant out here. Now this plant here, it's been a little over a month. No, wait a minute. When did I last water this? I have to look up when I last watered this, but it's been a while. All right, I've got a little tray here that we're going to use for the media as we pull this out. Now, it's been a while since I've watered this, but the humidity here in my grow space is running pretty high right now. There's been a lot of rain in April. We're now into May, almost the end of May, and we've got just high humidity going right now inside the grow space. Remember I was telling you in earlier videos back in the winter, I was having a really hard time keeping the humidity up in my grow space. So what I did is I went ahead and caulked around the windows here in this temporary home that I'm in, and I think that's helped some. All right, I will try to get a lot of this sphagnum moss out from the roots here. We've got some really good, nice long roots right here growing. So I want to be mindful of those. There's a new root here on the top. I want to be mindful of that as well. I'm just going to get my fingers down into this sphagnum moss, loosen it up. Sphagnum moss, you can start off real light and fluffy with it, but over time, the more you water, the more it's in the pot, it will condense and it will compress. That's the word I want to use, not really condense, but it will compress. Hate to disturb the roots. If you treat this like a bifoliate cattleya, then bifoliates really don't like to be repotted. They don't like their roots to be disturbed. But the best time to do it is when they do have new roots growing. Ooh, this is really stuck in here. I've got a lot of new root tips on this side. This was our last growth here, and you can see the new growth right here growing. So that's the direction that this plant is growing. These smaller back bulbs here is the back. And when I repot this, I will put that back up against one side of my pot here so that I can give this plant plenty of room to grow forward into the new pot. Okay, we also had a lot of algae. Algae's not going to hurt your plant. We have a lot of algae growing in this sphagnum moss here. Alrighty, let's see about this little root tip here. And if I'm not able to get all the sphagnum moss out, I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I'll speed up this part of the video. Go a little bit faster here. Now, that was a lot of sphagnum moss. Look at all that was just compressed down into that tiny little pot right there. All right, we're going to set that aside now. Clean up this little spot here. And I think this one will do very nicely in this pot here. I think it'll be like that there. It'll have plenty of room here to grow. Some of that old sheath off of there. Okay, so if I've got the back bulbs here, then here is my new growth. So I've got plenty of space for future growths. And unfortunately, in all of this, I no longer have a new growth. I have now broken the new growth off. Let me see if that new growth was rotted. It's been falling down in here. It happens. It's very disappointing. But I tell you what, from the looks of this, there is, with this new growth, maybe some brown right in here. I don't know if the camera's going to focus. I might have to just take a still photo and put up. But I'm actually wondering if this new growth had started to rot. That is really, really disappointing. Very disappointing here. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm looking on the other side of this pseudobulb and make sure that there is still a live eye on this side. So even though I've broken off my new growth, I still have another eye on this side for potential growth. So we're going to just have to see what happens with this one. All right, now we're going to get some of this sphagnum moss here, and I need to wring out the sphagnum moss that I've had soaking in the sea kelp extract. Now the sea kelp extract is definitely going to help this plant here produce hopefully another new growth on the side there, that new eye that I just showed you. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the sphagnum moss here and I'm going to put it up in amongst these roots here. Get me a good little ball of roots here. Put it back down in here. And I'm just going to continue with the sphagnum moss and filling it in. I'm definitely not using as much sphagnum moss that came out of the pot here. I really don't think I'll need that much. And I am going to compress it a little bit around the sides here so that it will stabilize the plant. Okay. And I could add a little bit more sphagnum moss. I don't really want to compress it down here on the side, but I do want to get it close to the bottom as possible. And you can see I've got a lot of roots here on this side where I pushed all of the back bulbs up. So I might want to get a little bit more sphagnum moss and just put down here over here on the side. Keep some moisture around those roots. And if I need to, I will stake this or tie it into the pot. I put some more sphagnum moss in here. I could put some bark in here too, but we said we were going to try to do an experiment of growing this cattleya all in sphagnum moss. But if it's real wobbly like this here, the plant isn't going to perform very well. It's just not going to grow very well if it doesn't feel secure in its environment. All right, I'm going to get just a little bit more sphagnum moss to put here on the top, and then this peach harvest will be done. Put the tag back in it. My little label here that I have with the picture of the flower, what it looks like. Put that down in there, and this one will be good to grow. Good to grow. Good to grow. All right, until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. And please like and subscribe if you wish. You might want to stay tuned, and we're going to have to do an update and see whether or not this will push out another growth here. But I do really think that it was rotted down in there, because when I look down inside of the new growth here, it's brown. Anywho, until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. Bye.